Hello, ladies. This is Anna Laura Brown, of course, of Autoimmune Rehab Podcast. And you can find the full audio and of this podcast, as well as some additional resources and other episodes at autoimmunerehab.com. In today's episode, I'm going to be sharing with you a little bit about some immune health hacks. And this episode is going to be a little bit shorter. This is definitely going to be an episode you're going to want to go check out autoimmunerehab.com and check out the additional resources that are there. One of the things that I will have there will be a video that will share my story about how I went from getting sick a lot to almost never getting sick. And so, shares with you the different immune health hacks that I used. Also, this is coming out on Thanksgiving weekend, so the reality is that I know this may be a time when you're really busy. There may not be as many people listening immediately, and so this is going to be a little bit of a shorter episode. And I also want to invite you to sign up for and attend my immune health hacks class that I'm going to be doing on January 17th. It's going to be over Zoom. You will need to go and register by going to annalaurabrown.com/immune class, and I will have the link, of course, in the show notes for that. And this will be a full hour long, maybe even a little bit more than an hour, where we will discuss in very big detail some of the different immune health hacks that I have learned that have helped me to stay healthy and well, to the point that I've even gone through situations where I had direct on exposure to things like the flu, or in some cases even, COVID, and have not caught it. That said, it did eventually catch up to me, and I did actually have COVID this last July. So, it's not like I avoid everything all the time and then I never ever get sick. But this will share with you some of the tips and tricks I've used to avoid getting sick every time I get exposed, which is actually what used to happen to me. And we will be discussing a lot of different variety of things. So some of the things I'll go over will be some essential oils. We'll discuss some different supplements, things like vitamin D, how to know if you're deficient, how much to take, things like exercise, some different kinds of foods that I like to eat for my immune support in the winter, different soups, teas, things like that. So it's going to be a very, very comprehensive look at it. And you'll be able to attend live for free, but if you want the recording, you will have to pay for it, as the recordings are eventually going to be sold as a series as part of an online course that I'm in the process of creating with different topics for helping people with autoimmunity. So, like I said, you'll want to go to, the link will be in the show notes, and you'll want to go to annalaurabrown.com/immune class to register for this class. But in the meantime, let me give you a few brief autoimmune, or rather immune health hacks for you to think about in the winter season. So the first thing, like I've kind of already alluded to, is you want to make sure that you're getting the right amount of supplements. And so this will include things such as vitamin D, vitamin C, zinc, magnesium even is one that a lot of people can be deficient in. If you have a thyroid, or in some cases other autoimmune issues like me, you will want to make sure that you have adequate selenium. Also, being aware and in tune with the seasons. So this is something that is really common in Eastern medicine, so like acupuncture, also in Indian medicine, things with such as Ayurveda, is that they follow the seasons, and there are certain foods that are more of, like the warming foods, things like that you want to be eating and consuming more of during the winter season. And then you want to avoid some of the things that are focused more on the summer season. And, in today's day and age and world, a lot of times at the grocery store, you can buy a lot of the summer foods in the winter, but you will notice that a lot of those things have a tendency to be more expensive because they're not as abundant or readily available. And there are reasons why things are referred to, names such as zucchinis referred to such as summer squash, or, things like peaches are sometimes not even available in the winter, is because those are definitely a summer food. So you definitely want to try to eat with and follow the seasons and do other things to help support your body in the winter season by eating the winter foods, as well as, the warming foods, using essential oils to help boost immunity, things like that. And like I said, I will be delving into more in depth about these things on the class, but basically, if you stay in tune with your body and give yourself the nourishment and things that it needs in tune with the winter season, and follow those seasons, and then make sure that you have adequate supplements, especially vitamin D, vitamin C, and zinc. And like I said, I like to use the different essential oils, also elderberry syrup, There are other herbal remedies out there as well that we will delve into on the class. And, then just being careful but making sure that you get outside and get some adequate exercise and air and things. And if you live in a colder environment like I do coming from Utah, it can be a little bit of a challenge. But you definitely still want to get out there and get that exercise and get that fresh air, even though, it may be really, really cold some days. Take advantage of some of the days when it's not as cold and maybe there's not quite as much snow to get out there. And, if you are really proactive about it, you can really support your immune health and you can stay happy, healthy, and well all winter long. I have done it before. I do have a tendency, when I do get sick, it usually is in the winter season. So for me, it was definitely a big anomaly and a little bit weird when I actually had COVID in July this year. So, I think that's the first time I've ever recall actually getting super sick like that during the summer months when it was really, really hot outside. I normally, if I do get sick during a year, it's, in the time between like November to February. So that was, an abnormality. But yeah, I typically have been able to avoid a lot of sickness, and if I do get sick, it's, maybe only for a week or two. It's not one of those things where I has a tendency to drag on and on. In fact, I've already seen a post on Facebook from somebody talking about having had the flu for 18 days already, and I think, my goodness, that means your immune system is not functioning at the level that it should be, and you're not doing what you need to do to support your immune health. And those of us that have autoimmune conditions, it's even more important that we do this. So anyhow, I know in some degree I may be preaching to the choir, and, like I said, the main goal of this podcast episode really is just to give you a few tips and hints, but then to also get you to go register for that class, because I know it's going to be really helpful, and like I said, we'll have a lot of details, and even if you think you know a lot of things about your immune health, different things to do to support your immune health, I promise that you will learn some new things from attending this class. So anyhow, take care, and I look forward to hearing from you and seeing you on the class.